I am Julius Lopez Jr., student at Far Eastern University, taking Bachelor of Science in Exercise and Sports Science. And we will talk about how the death penalty is an inhumane and unlawful. We do live in a world where there is life and there is death. In a world where there are humans, plants, animals, and other living things. A world where reality is scary because criminals, or literally bad people, are lurking and can do harm any other living things. Given the justice system we have today, which can side people with power and money, I'd still stick with capital punishment for heinous crimes. The emergence of insanity makes it impossible for it to fulfill its objective. Even as the death penalty does its hardest to prevent murder. The sentence for death is discriminatory. It is also used against those in communities who are most vulnerable, including disadvantaged people, racial and religious minorities, and those mental disorders. It is final until the death penalty is carried out. Mistakes cannot be unmade that are made. An accused person could be released from jail for a crime they did not commit, but a man who is killed cannot be reversed. Ending the life of a man was never an option to mankind, since I believe that there is a creator who punishes all the sinful acts beyond earth life. I believe the victims will then still get the justice they need. Life sentence must be the proper penalty for those people who committed a crime. For the reason that life sentence will make them suffer physically, mentally, and emotionally. Death is not enough. They must suffer little by little until they feel death inside. The death penalty is the biggest cruel, inhuman, and degrading penalty. Executive orders opposes the capital punishment in all cases with no exception, irrespective as to who is convicted, the nature or type of crime, the guilty or innocent, or the means of death. The capital punishment is the cold-blooded and meticulously planned execution of a human being as to the economy. The state should exert no greater control over a citizen than that of the individual depriving him or her of life knowingly. According to Amnesty, the Universal Declaration acknowledges the right to life of each person and categorically recognizes it. Also notes that no one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman or inhumane torture, treatment or discipline that is degrading. Death, in the judgment of Amnesty International, the sentence contradicts those liberties. In the Philippines, we have a lot of drug cases here in our country, and people who uses it causes a lot of crimes like killing other people or raping women and such. The death penalty is much more costly than a scheme that uses life without parole terms as an alternative penalty. The lengthy courts and appeals needed while a person's life is on the table. The need for additional attorneys and specialists on all sides of the court and the high cost of the death penalty is due in part to the relative rarity of executions. It also requires legal cost, pre-trial cost, jury selection, trial incarceration, appeals which are harsh for the less unfortunate people who don't have enough money to provide for their own reputation. Death penalty is a humiliating punishment and will make a country's reputation worse. Human rights is a law in every country which debunks the capital punishment and will provide voice for every individual, and it proves that in a civilized society, life sentence is a better choice to avoid harsh expenses and will make the criminal suffer from what he or she did to the victim.